Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're tackling a piece of tech for a problem that sounds, incredibly simple.
It really does.
You've got one video source, right?
Well,
An Xbox, a cable box, whatever, and you just want it to show up on two different TVs at the same time.
the classic sports bar problem. You want the game on in the living room and also out on the patio.
Exactly. But anyone who's tried this with a cheap generic splitter knows it's usually just a total nightmare. Flickering, no audio, or just a black
A
screen.
black screen of death, yeah.
So today we're digging into the WolfPack 1x2 HDMI splitter from HDTV Supply to figure out what's really going on.
And we're not just, reviewing a metal box. This thing is a perfect case study for why digital signals are so fragile. It really boils down to this invisible negotiation that happens called the handshake.
Before we even get to the handshake, though, there's just a basic hardware problem with most of these things. The cheap ones are, they're just dumb.
They synchronize the outputs.
I've dealt with this myself. If they're synced, you turn off one of the TVs, and the signal to the other one just...
Con! The whole circuit is broken, and the signal in the living room just cuts out.
Which completely defeats the purpose. This WolfPack unit, though, it uses a totally different chipset.
The outputs are independent. It's a huge difference.
So you can have one TV on, or both on, and it just works. It isolates the connections.
It stops one screen from holding the other one hostage, which is so important now with, DirecTV, Apple TV, all these different sources.
Okay, so this brings us to what the specs call the secret sauce.
EDID.
EDID, Extended Display Identification Data.
Yep. It's a Visa standard, but basically, think of it like a digital ID card for your TV.
An ID card.
Yeah, it's on a little microchip inside your screen, and when you plug in that HDMI cable, the TV sends this ID card up the line to the source.
So it's telling the Xbox, hey, I'm a Sony display, I can handle 1080p, these are my color specs.
Exactly. Please don't send me anything I can't actually display.
And this all travels over something called the Display Data Channel, the DDC.
Right. But with a cheap splitter, that ID card gets lost in the mail. Or worse, the splitter tries to send two different IDs at once.
And the source just gets confused and gives up.
It sends nothing. That's your black screen. This WolfPack box, it actively manages that whole conversation. It intercepts the EDID, makes sure a clear message gets through, and the handshake actually completes.
But there's a catch, right? And I think this is maybe the most important part. What if I have, say, a new 1080p projector, but I'm also running a line to an old 720p monitor?
That's the crucial question. The splitter has to make a choice.
It can't send two different signals.
Nope. So it scans both displays, and it finds the highest resolution they can both handle. It's the lowest common denominator rule.
So my brand new projector gets throttled down to 720p just to protect the old monitor.
It has to, otherwise that older monitor would just get static or, an out-of-range error message. This way, you're guaranteed to get a picture on both.
That's a really important trade-off to understand. You're choosing connectivity over quality in that specific setup.
It is. The device does try to help in other ways, though. It's also a booster.
An amplifier.
Yeah. If you've ever run a really long HDMI cable, you see those little white sparklies. Digital snow.
Oh, yeah. Signal degradation.
Exactly. This unit reclocks and amplifies that signal. With a good, thick cable, you can push a clean 1080p signal up to 15 meters.
Which is pretty impressive for a copper cable. And it looks like it keeps all the heavy-duty audio, too. The Dolby, the DTS surround sound.
Yeah, it doesn't strip anything out.
So for about $75, you're getting a little box that automates this ridiculously complex conversation our devices are having.
It really makes you realize how much is going on inside those cables, all that chatter just to get a picture on a screen. But it does leave you with one final question.
What's that?
Well, if these smart splitters always default down to the lowest quality screen in the chain, how many of us are unknowingly watching a low-res picture on our expensive new TVs just because we forgot we had an ancient monitor still plugged in somewhere in another room?
That is a genuinely terrifying thought.
Right.
Check your connections, everyone.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.